I just wanted to let you know that today, rather than doing a sewing project, what I'm actually going to do is I'm gonna go through my stash of sewing supplies, decide which things can go and which things I'm gonna use in future projects, and maybe choose some projects because my stash has become out of control. Because I have a small bedroom and I currently have two separate places where my stash is kept. Okay, let's go. So, the first part of my stash I'm gonna show you all is the worst part of my stash, which is mostly crochet thread for thread crochet. I have some texture issues, so a lot of the textures for me are too scratchy, so I'm just never gonna use this stuff, and I feel like it'd best go to someone who would appreciate it. And then I'm gonna go and through my bigger bucket, which is the one over here, which has all my blanket yarn and also all my nicer yarn. I've actually gone through that blanket yarn thing recently, but there might be some more stuff because it was like overflowing, so maybe there's some extra stuff that I kept. Plus, I get to show you all the nice yarn I got from Knit Crate that I haven't done anything with yet because I'm like, ooh, I probably should save this for a good project, and then I just get more and more yarn. I've actually stopped getting the cheap, it's not cheap, they have a one skein monthly sampler, and they also have they have better things. I was really interested in the quarterly yarn club where they give you 3 skeins of the same really nice deluxe yarn, and that costs about $55 over a 3-month period. Meanwhile, getting a single skein, with shipping for me is about $18. So getting one skein every month for 3 months being $18 is about the same price as as waiting until for 3 months to get some nice yarn. And also, I have not used any of my Knit Crate yarn yet, so it's not like I'm gonna run out. So, I recently upgraded to that, and I'll get to show you guys what I got this month. It's actually absolutely gorgeous, but first, let's go through my thread. I'm just gonna pull everything out and then we'll stuff stuff back in. Really cool, the thread is actually under my bed because my bed has a little drawer built into it, into the base, which is where I shoved a whole bunch of yarn, which might have been a bad idea because it made my brain go, oh, you could afford to get more yarn, you don't even see any. Tilting this down so you'll be able to see the pile as it piles up, and then I will start putting things back in. Some of these yarns I bought at full price, or well, not full price, I bought them on sale at places like Walmart, and some of them I bought let me drag this over here. Some of them I bought at a thrift store, which is where I work. So I got extra discounted. It was already discounted, and then I got a discount on top of my other discount. Oh, perfect. And yes, I have rolled a bunch of these up with a yarn winder. Uh, I don't know how you feel about it, but I actually find using a ball winder to be a very calming process. So sometimes I'll just grab my ball winder and grab whatever yarn is not wound or is not wound good enough, and just spend about an hour winding some yarn. See, like this is probably something I'm giving it away. It is very pretty. I don't know if you can see it clearly. It's yellow with these speckles of color, but I just don't like the way it feels. And if I don't like the way it feels, I'm never gonna want to put it in a project. So this is going in my no pile. That was quick. I didn't expect to discard anything that quick. Because I have this problem where I'm very worried about wasting stuff. Especially because, like, I spent money on this stuff. Why would I throw it out? And then I remember, yeah, there's no point in keeping it. This is another one that I have that I'm gonna toss out. It's a very pretty color, but again, it's not quite as bad as like Red Hot Super Saver, which is my enemy. Good. So this is also getting in the no pile. Oh, and this is just really pretty. This again is still part of that with the scratchiness. Also, just so you guys know that I'm not like wasting this. Just so you guys are perfectly aware that I'm not like wasting this yarn. I actually I actually got it from the store I work at, and it's going to be donated back to the store I work at. It's a the store I work at is a for-profit, but it actually works with this non-profit call that it's called Big Brothers Big Sisters, and what it does is it it's a social program that pairs like kids who are like orphans or something with big older siblings, people in the community who are willing to help them out, and they teach them things and help them out. So every time someone donates to that store, the objects are weighed and a portion of money is actually sent to that nonprofit, which is a lot better than, you know, a lot of other stuff you could do. Now, anyway, back to yarn. A lot of people don't think of how actually privileged we are to live the way we do. So I think it's always nice to know that, by cleaning up my dragon's hoard, I'm actually helping people out. This one is another yellow. It's actually pretty nice for the feel, and some of these I have to keep because they are straight up with the temperature blanket project I'm doing right now, and that's one of them. There's not much yellow in that project, but there is some, and I'm not gonna waste my money buying new ones. This is another one that's just, it's not a bad texture, it's just I have a lot of Karen's Simply Soft now, which is both soft and it has a really nice texture, so what's the point of me having this anymore? See, a lot of these cakes are like part of a different cake because I did not splurge when I bought a yarn winder. I buy a really cheap one and then it breaks down and I just buy a new one. And it's fine, it works for me, but it's not big enough to hold all the yarn for some things. So, little cakes start to form, which in my opinion is fine. I want to show you all the big yarn, and then we'll decide what I'm giving out from that, and then I'll do all my little thread yarn. Especially because the thread yarn by definition is not as soft, and it's really weird to be switching between them and judging which is soft, because obviously I just give away all my thread yarn. Okay, so, first of all, I don't know if you've noticed, but I have quite a bit of white, and I'm actually going to keep all of these because they don't feel bad, and also a lot of the projects I do use white as a border and base color. So these are getting saved. These dark blue ones also are, I can just tell they're Canon Simply Softs by their texture, and this also works with the current project I'm doing. So these are also staying. Next, these, again, soft. I'm so sorry if the repetitiveness is annoying, but these two, this one's with my current project. This one, I just really like it. It's nice and pink. I will figure out something to do with this eventually, because I would like to keep it. These current project, I actually don't know if these are part of my current project, but if they're not, I'll find something else to do with them. These two, current project and also very soft. These reds are all soft and part of my current project. And also, really interestingly, these are Canon Simply Soft, but I got them at the store I work at, and I don't know if you could see, but they actually have these speckles of other colors mixed into it. It's mainly dark red, but the speckles give it this beautiful color pattern. I actually didn't think I liked speckled yarn until I started using this, because hey, it's cheap and I was running out of red for the project, so let me add it in. Let me just do a few stitches, see if I like it, and if I don't, I've spent $2. That's actually why I've been getting into so many crafts recently, because where I work, I can do those things. Oh, let me show you something else. Never mind, it's on a different floor of the house, but I bought this really thick, it's acrylic jumbo yarn, but you can actually see the fibers tearing apart because it's the super, super bulky yarn that I looked at it and I'm like, oh, those could be spinning fibers, huh? And then Jillian Eve, who is absolutely phenomenal, she showed how you could spin with pre-made yarn and acrylic yarn. So I'm actually thinking of getting into spinning and trying that out. I would have to buy a drop spindle and such, but that's a future project right there. This yarn, I actually bought it full price because it is gorgeous. It is the purple, I believe this is the mandala type yarn, and I have not done anything with this, but don't you worry, I will think of something. These are just other mandala style yarns. And oh, I'm getting blurry. Hold on one moment. Okay, there. Uh, Technical difficulties. These, I actually do have a problem project in mind. There's this interesting skull cardigan thing, which seems like a really dark emo pattern, but I think if I do it in this light, colorful design, it would make a really nice contrast to the actual texture and design it has, and it would be something nice and autumnish, while not being designed only to autumn. So that's what I'm thinking. So I've already given away 4 balls of yarn. That's pretty impressive for me. Next, we will go into the crochet thread. This one has like fine texture. It's not bad. This one, I don't like its texture. I can just tell. This also has this has a better texture than this. So I think I'm gonna make best texture, medium texture, and then I'm just gonna immediately toss anything with bad texture. So good texture, bad texture. Well, this isn't bad. Bad texture I already put over here, see? Because this is my, oh no, you're not keeping that pile. Yeah, this is just part of this. This also has a bad texture. I don't know if you notice, but I have a lot of colors that I like so much that even if it's a bad texture, I'll go through several cycles of throwing things out. And I'll keep the thing that I know I'm not ever gonna use, just because I personally think it's pretty. But I do actually have a genuine texture. I believe it's called sensory processing disorder or something. Like, some textures just kind of bother me a little. Stuff like velvet really deeply upsets me, and I will not have anything with velvet. It's actually really funny story. If something has velvet in it, I don't. I sometimes just refuse to touch it. Like, I'll be at work, and a giant, sometimes you have to hang those giant quilts up when they fall to the floor. And I'll be able to touch it for a second and be like, that's velvet, and velvet makes me want to claw my own skin off. So I'll just walk over to one of my coworkers and be like, hey, do you mind doing me a favor? Can you hang that for me? And sometimes I'll do that with like velvet shirts and stuff as well. Everyone at the work is really nice about it, and I always make sure to help them out with their section when I'm done in return, because like it's kind of annoying probably that I walk over to somebody and ask them to walk over to my section and hang something up, but sometimes actually this has better texture than this, so I might actually toss these because this is also white. Well, it's not white, it's off-white, it's cream. These two also have a pretty good texture. Oh, this texture is just terrible. This is actually the bright white, but I don't even want it in my hand. This blue also has a really nice texture, but this one does not. See, when I was first rolling these, because I had never used thread crochet, I couldn't even tell if a texture is really bad or it's just my perception because I'm used to using very fluffy, soft yarn. But now that I have a bunch of them in my hand, I can tell some things are just bad. This one's fine. It's not great, but depending on how much thread crochet is left is going to depend on how many of these stay. This is also a really good texture. Oh, this is and again it's the nice bright pink, because if something's bright and pink, I'm like, I can't just toss it out. Maybe I'll give it another shot. Oh, finally! Look, this nice dark red one actually has a nice texture. I'm so happy about that because I really like using red. I actually was never gonna get into this until my grandma, when I was really young, actually wanted to teach me to crochet, and I never wanted to learn because I was a kid. And then I visited her and I showed her all the patterns of all the stuff that I've been making, and she walked around the house and showed me all these beautiful, intricate designs that she made and with thread crochet, and I was suddenly like, yes, this is what I'm doing. Anyway, this is blue and red. These are both good textures as well, so they're going over here. Oh, that's sad. I liked these, but I could just tell from the texture that I'm not keeping them. Also, I have a niece who wants to get into crochet and stuff with me, so I told her I'm making a plastic bag that I'm gonna give to my work, and I told her, you could just take anything in the bag. I'm gonna donate it, so before I donate it, you can just go and grab anything you like, within your mother's approval, of course. I'm not here to stir up family trouble. Yep, this is bad again. Ooh, these pinks actually feel really nice. That's great. I get so excited when I actually find the colors I like and with the texture I like, which shows to me that I'm way too lenient on my yarn, because I shouldn't be this excited to just be like, oh, it's something that I would actually work with. Nope, these are bad. These two are good. This one's good, this one is just bad. It's not even worth double checking. These two are bad as well. All three of these are good. That's awesome. This one's a red, this one's like a tealish blue, and this one's a purple. So I was originally thinking that I was probably going to keep these two just because, of course, I need white. It's white. It's what I use for the border for a lot of my projects. And then I stopped as I questioned my own assumption. The only person I have to make happy with my projects is me. Why am I adding a white border of a texture that I don't even like just because, what? Because on the border of paper we do white? I could make the border anything. I have a lot of reds now. Maybe I'll do a red border. I just have to make sure it properly contrasts with the outside color. It's stuff like that. You actually have to think through your assumptions on why you're doing what you're doing. But, that's just how I feel. So Yeah, I've thrown out about half my yarn at this point. Well, at least this yarn. I have some more, and I get to show you guys all the really cool knit crate stuff that I got. By the way, this isn't sponsored at all. I just use Knit Crate because I've always wanted to have yarn shipped to me because I live in the States. And you don't really find good yarn. Well, you do. Good yarn stores. Like, I'm near a Joann's, and that's a Walmart, and that's where that's where I can buy yarn locally. So it's really cool to have yarn shipped over to me. So anyway, now you can watch me put all my reject yarn in this bin. And you can see just how much I'm tossing out. Well, if I can show you. Even while I'm doing this, whenever I get to a good color, I'm doing a second squeeze of it to be like, oh, am I sure this pink is unusable to me? Maybe if I give it a second or third or fourth shot, it'll suddenly become a nice thing that I would love to work with. And that's just not gonna happen. Okay. Now you just gotta give me 2 minutes. I gotta pack all this back into my underbed cubby hole, and then I will pull out my other yarn for you guys. Aaliyah? Come over here. I just had to bring it over to my niece. She wants to learn and she likes the yarn. She doesn't have as many problems with textures as I do. So what's the harm in letting the girl have a little bit of Oh, there were 2 extras in here. Oh. 4 extras. This one's actually good. These 3 are also going out. One moment. The other day while I was making a circle skirt pattern, because I want to make a circle skirt, she came and she tried to work with me, and I was asking, why are you working on this with me, Olivia? Because she's never shown she's shown minor interest in learning how to sew, but not how to draft patterns and such. And she told me, oh, well, when I grow up, I want to be just like you, and I want to be a fashion designer. So, she'll become a fashion designer then. I will not stifle her creativity. Oh dear, it's hot today. Actually, you know what? I'll be right back. Sorry about that. I had to change shirts. The last one I was wearing was not very breathable, and it was just, oh, it was too much for little old me. Oh, and when I show you my knit crate yarn, I can show you the projects I've been thinking of putting them into. One of which is incredibly nerdy because, you know, some girls got multiple interests. I like crafting, like like as my family says, like I'm a grandmother at age 24. And I also like to play video games and watch movies. One of my favorite video games now is the Legends of Arceus. I can't wait for the new game to come out. A lot of people say it's stupid, and I'm like, yeah, but that's the fun of it. It's a Pokemon game. Oh, hold on one moment. I gotta go put some eggs in the fridge. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Oh wow, I have 3 viewers now. Hi guys! That's the most viewers I've ever had. Although this is only my, like, 4th stream. It's so great to see you guys! I actually started doing this not to get popular or anything, but mostly because I have a lot of things that I have to do every day. I have to work on showing up my skills to get a job. I have to work on job applications. I have a full-time job. I go to the gym, and I have this habit where I feel guilty for doing the things I like, as if I'm wasting time that could be better spent with work. Constant work, which I don't know if you guys know this. It does not help to constantly be working. It will make your mental health worse, and instead of helping, you will get much worse than you were when you started, and your productivity would go down so much that it's much better to take a break. So me scheduling these Twitch streams and doing them is more like, oh, Kat, you should spend your time doing something you like. And now you're forced to because you scheduled a stream every week. So at least once a week I put at least an hour aside to do something craft-worthy. Sometimes I do this much more than a week. I've started doing video game streams a couple times a week as well, which is another one of my hobbies. But, you know, there's always time to have a little bit of fun. I remember when I was in college, I had no time to have fun. So what I would do was I actually had a little corner crochet project that I kept in a little baggie that I brought to college. I didn't do it in class, obviously, but I would go into one of the empty classrooms between classes, because I always had a break between my classes. I would go eat something, then I would go into an empty classroom, or I'd rent a room in the library. It's not renting, you can borrow a room and put it aside for yourself for a few hours. It was supposed to be a group study room, so you're supposed to put two people's names on it at least. And I had a friend who also liked having a little bit of quiet and tranquility in an entire college. So we would just put each other's names and emails down for the time, and it would be like the other person just doesn't show up. But so I would make like a to-do list of which assignments are the most important to do in what order, and I would do as many as I can. But I would be like, okay, so every 2 assignments I do, I can take a 5-minute break and do a little crochet. Or I'll take a 10-minute break after doing this one really large task. Also, I can't do tasks when it's like, oh, you should write this essay. So I would cut it up into, you would create, you would do the research, look up this many articles, write out your outline, write out the first paragraph. I would cut it into 5 parts, like make intro for the outline, make first paragraph for the outline, and then I would be like, actually write the first paragraph. So the one essay task would be turned into 20 smaller tasks that are actually manageable. Because if not, I'm just going to stare at a empty line on an essay for 5 hours. Now instead of being overpacked, there's actually spare room in there, which is amazing. Now, let me show you my other bucket of yarn. I don't know if you can see it, but right over there in this corner. Give me 1 second. There it goes. Right over here in this corner is actually a large bucket that I bought at work that has, well, first of all, on top of it, it has my current crochet project I'm working on. But also, it actually has a bunch of yarn in it. So yeah, I'm going to show you my blanket yarn first. I got this baby. I got this. This is not even blanket yarn, but it just didn't fit in my other basket. It is very nice textured though, so this is actually going down here. Some beautiful purple gradient basket yarn. More purple gradient. Oh, I don't think I like this one. This one will be added to the things I give my niece. Oh dear. I don't think I like the texture of this one either. This one's also getting sent to my niece. This one's nice. I like the texture. But this one is the same as that other one. This one, I think the texture's fine. I just don't particularly like the color. Oh, and look at these! Cakes of mandala yarn that I haven't even touched because there's no point in rolling them up right now because I'm not going to use them for a while. These should probably stay in this basket. These are good, as is this one. So these are going down here. This one is a mandala yarn that I already opened. So it's staying in here because these two are good, and they're also for this kind of project. So they go under my bed. And under my bed is once again full. Crazy world we live in, huh? More Simply Soft. I guess I live and breathe Simply Soft, although a lot of these full cakes that you see actually just come from my store because someone will donate an entire cake of yarn and it'll be like, well, I'm not a fool. This, however, this is really soft yarn. Oh, you can't really read it, but this is a brand called Willow. They have wash yarns, which are, they are 100% acrylic, but they feel so soft. Like, it's amazing to me that this isn't wool. It's not really a dream or a goal, but I'm 100% going to, once I start making more money, if I have to go back to acrylics, Willow is the website I will go to. Again, not sponsored, I just like this stuff. But I feel like I'm going to be able to stick to Knit Crate for the foreseeable future. And, you know, cheap stuff at my job. Apparently I have a whole bunch of this blue yarn that I don't like the texture of. Let me just dump some of this in that bag. I'll be right back. Aaliyah, can you hold the bag open for me for a second? I know. More purple gradient yarn. I think with this blanket yarn, I'm gonna make another rug blanket thing for my dog, because my dog's a real sweet thing, and she really loves the blankets that I make out of these. Another rainbow. Oh, and another piece of the mandala. This one's just nice. More Karen Simply Soft from my work, but I want to show you guys to see this one. It's light pink with darker pink colorings, and it's soft. They call this color Chili Flakes. I love it so much. If I can replace my bloodstream with this yarn, I would. Now, all these are going back in the box, and then I'm going to show you all the really nice stuff I got. And then I get to show you all the really nice stuff I got from Knit Crate, which, God, I love Knit Crate. So I've actually not had a chance to use their yarn yet, even though I've had it for, you're gonna be able to see how many months I've had Knit Crate for. Okay, so I actually think I might remember the exact order I got these in too, but if you use Knit Crate and you want to correct me, you're probably right. But anyway, first month, here we go. This month I got this yarn. It's so gorgeous. It's this light blue color, and with white speckling on it, and it is called Hydrangea. It's 48% merino wool, 20% baby alpaca, and 32% organic cotton, and it feels so good. It's absolutely gorgeous. I actually bought extra of this one in this color because I I'm gonna make an octagonal scarf from this. I don't know if you know about, there's this game called Twisted Wonderland. It's a phone app game, and it has, it basically takes place in an alternate universe in which the villains of the Disney movies won. Hold on one second.
These are some of the colors I chose.
Okay, you can keep them. I'm streaming right now, Leah. I can't play right now. But they're very pretty. Good job. I'm glad she can appreciate the stuff that I can't. Um, that sounded passive aggressive, but it wasn't. I'm genuinely happy that I could give something to my niece. Perfect. Okay. So, yeah, in that game, the villains win, and it actually doesn't take place then. In the future, there's like a school for villains, and it's a school, and they hail these people as heroes because they were able to rewrite their own history because they won. Octagonal is actually the it's set up kind of like Harry Potter, where it's houses. If you recognize that, Octagonal is actually Ursula's house, and I really like all the characters there. It's Azul Ashengrata, who is based on Ursula, and he is my favorite character in the game. He's basically a shady business dealer, mob boss type guy. He tries to trick you into a contract with him. Kind of like Rumpelstiltskin, if you think about it that way. He tries to get you to sign a contract that is supposed to give you what you want and him what he wants, but it's skewed so you lose and he wins. It's a whole thing. But he is one of my favorite characters because I relate to him in a lot of ways. Not in the shady business dealer way, but in the self-esteem problems due to rampant bullying type of way. And honestly, when he was like, I just wanted to get revenge on all the people who wronged me, I was like, yeah, I can see why. It's fair. That's a fair thing to want. But, I just really love him as a character. Her pet eels have become their own characters too. Flotsam and Jetsam become Floyd and Jade Leach, and I always like to. I relate to Floyd immensely, even more than Azul, because Floyd, I headcanon to have ADHD. He does have a lot of the same behaviors as me, and one of them actually inspired me to be a happier person, because the thing about Floyd Leach is he has mood swings. Sometimes he just stops feeling like doing something, or he doesn't feel like doing something he's supposed to do. And that happens to me like a lot, where my body is just like, you don't want to do this, you're gonna suffer every second you do this, and I really don't want to do it. And the difference between me and Floyd is that Floyd is a more self-actualized person who, if he doesn't want to do something, he just doesn't do it. He's like, no, I didn't feel like taking an exam, so I didn't take it. No, didn't feel like helping clean, so I left. No, I didn't feel like doing this thing for extra credit, this mandatory thing that's also for extra credit, so I just hung out and hid doing it, which was a valid option. And I'm like, yeah, that's probably what I would have done too. And then you could see people snap him out of the boredom, not by yelling at him and telling him, why don't you help us, but by making the thing they're doing fun again. And, Floyd and Jade, his brother, and Azul, instead of constantly pushing, they'll complain and tell him that he's annoying them, but they've never pushed him or forced him to do anything. If in one of the events, it's the Beans Day event, which is the Jack and the Beanstalk thing, Floyd is like, I don't feel like doing this, so I'm not gonna do it. And Jade's like, oh really? It would have been really fun for us to do this together, my twin brother. And Floyd's like, yeah, but I don't feel like doing it. And Jade's like, alright, I suggest that you still show up to do it, just so they don't force you into extra credit classes, into remedial classes, because I know you hate that as well. Which, oh fuck, I wish I had someone like Jade on my side. But anyway, I decided I'm gonna make an Octavanel scarf because they wear these long scarves over their shoulders, and so I'm gonna use this. I actually bought. I bought a second one, and I recently bought another set of these because apparently they're always making these, and they had a end of summer deal that's at 65% off, so it was 50% off and now it's another 65% off, so I'm getting two more of these, which is worth about $60 if you look at the packaging, and I've paid total of $20, which is the amount I paid for this one, for two more, which is probably going to be enough for me to actually finish the scarf, so I'm looking forward to that. They were having a different sale on the month that this came out where I bought these two because it's the same thing, hydrangea with the softness and everything, with the same pink, but this time it's pink and white, and they had a sale, so I bought two because I liked this color too, and I just wanted both of them. So what I did was I took both of them. I do not remember which was the next months, so I have three here. I'm just going to show you month by month. This one is actually really soft. I don't think I'm that jazzed about the color because I really like the interesting colors, like this is speckled or other interesting stuff here, but this is just a flat color, but it is incredibly soft. This is actually 50% superwash merino wool, 50% tencel. Tencel, I don't know if you know this, is it's not a synthetic fiber because I believe synthetic fibers are things like polyester. It is what I consider a man-made fiber. I believe tencel is made of cellulose fibers interwoven. But I'm not 100% sure. Let me look that up real quick because I don't want to be giving you fake information. Yeah. Tencel is the original trademark of Lysocell, also called modal nowadays. It's made of cellulose fiber. They dissolve the pulp and then we can constitute it by dry wet spinning. Tencel is not as sustainable as stuff like organic linen and cycled cotton. However, it does require less energy and water, and they also have this silky smooth feel that I really appreciate. The only bad thing is that Tencel isn't quite as breathable, but because this has it's 50% wool, that will be counteracted. These next two, I actually don't like the texture as much. They're not bad textures. I keep things that have worse textures than these, but they're just not as good as these soft wool alpaca or tencel mixes. So this one also has a really interesting color pattern because you see it has two different colors. Where's the camera? That have been interwoven. This is like a light purplish blue and white. This one is called Oru yarn, and it's just 100% Pima cotton. It's not quite as good as the wool stuff, but it is incredibly soft, and I appreciate that. this is also a yarn. I actually don't think I like it as much. It's not quite as soft to me. It is pretty. It's these green and cream. It's hard to see on the camera, but it's like green cream mixes. Let's see if I... Nope, that didn't help. But yeah. Wish I could show you this better. But yeah. I was trying to see if blocking some of the light would help, but it doesn't. So this one, I just don't like the texture as much. However, after this month, I switched to the really expensive pack, which is a 3-pack. It's called Glass Future. Well, this pack is called Glass Future. I believe it's called the Marbrigio yarn, hand-dyed yarn club that they have, which costs, I want, $55, but it's every 3 months rather than every 1 month. So over time, so if you take how much time you're spending and how much yarn you're buying, you're paying about the same. It gives you a pattern. It comes in this really nice box, and let me show you this gorgeous yarn that I bought. Absolutely stunning. Look at this. Look at this. It's speckled. It has these beautiful colors. I love this yarn so much. When they announced that they were going to sell extras on the member portal, I immediately went into the member portal to try and buy another set, even though it would have broke my bank, but it was sold out, because that's how much I like this. It, again, isn't really the texture that I like too much, but it makes up for that in being absolutely gorgeous. It's also not a bad texture. It's simply 100% Pima cotton, which I guess I just like working with wool and alpaca more due to its softness, but not 100% wool. I feel like cotton... Okay, so I don't know how to put this. Cotton gives a really nice structure to a yarn. Wool gives it a nice bounciness and softness, and alpaca gives this incredible softness. Both alpaca and I believe Angora have this gorgeous softness, but it causes little hairs to fall off. It's so soft that it does not have the structure needed to become a yarn, so I think the best thing to do is to have a blend of wool, sometimes cotton, but I don't think the cotton is 100% necessary, but it does give it a better structure. Wool and mixed with a really soft yarn is ideal. You could also add in cotton for more structure, depending on what you're making out of it. However, do take what I'm saying about it with a grain of salt, because I am not a yarn expert. I've actually just recently gotten into actually knowing what I'm working with, because for a while I was just crocheting whatever I had on hand, and I would just not enjoy crocheting sometimes because I would be working with this cheap scratchy fiber, but you know, I spent money on this and I don't want to waste money and it took until I was watching a TL Yarncraft's Yarn Snob review, and she was talking about how crochet is a hobby. It's something you do because you love it. Why would you want to suffer through it? And that really resonated with me, and it also did not resonate with my bank account, because since then I've spent a lot of money. However, I like to believe that because of that money I've spent, I am now a much more happy human being, and I would prefer to be happy um, and be surrounded by beautiful things than to be miserable and have slightly less worry about my finances, because frankly currently my finances are fucked either way. I'm a recent college grad in the tech field during a time of mass layoffs and tech industry freezes, and they're about to start making student loan payments a thing again. No matter what I do, my finances aren't going to be great, and I think it's better for me to actually be moving forward instead of catastrophizing. I spend a little bit of money on stuff I like, and a little bit of time on stuff I like, and then I have the energy to push through and actually do things that I maybe don't like as much, like search for a job or study the industry standard tools for that I've never interacted with before, because while my college did prepare me to graduate, it apparently did not prepare me to break into the field, which I'm a little salty about that. I paid a lot of money for that college education. But that's what I got for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm probably gonna do another stream soon. I've started sewing and stuff. I actually made a circle skirt pattern. I'm getting some washers in soon. Specifically washers, because I like to use pattern weights, but I do not like the price of pattern weights. So I'm buying these metal washers, and I'm going to tape them together and then sew them with fabric to make them these cute little handmade fiber pattern weights. And after that, I'm going to make a circle skirt. I have a lot of cloth now that I got from my work, which again, incredibly cheap. But you know, I'll show you guys that as soon as possible. I'm probably gonna start a second stream in an hour or so to do a game called Stacklands. But first, I have to relax and eat something. I love you guys. I'll see you soon. Bye.